Hi everyone, this is Oak Pine Willow and a short video on the red pill and religion, namely Christianity. Recently Rollo Tomasi, the author of the Rational Male book series, those are great books, you should read them, or at least read his blog, therationalmale.com, if you can afford the books right now. So he had a show about the red pill and religion, namely Christianity, because he works mostly for the American market, so to say, and most Americans are Christians. So my question here is, can you be red-pilled about women and intersectional dynamics and remain blue-pilled about Christianity? Can you really be unplugged from the matrix and remain a Christian? No, you cannot. Here's why. Christianity is not what you've been told it is. It's not how it's used. Let's see Christianity for what it really is. Let's start with the sober reading of the Bible, of the New Testament. Here's what the New Testament is about. Judea gets conquered by Rome. It becomes a Roman province. It loses independence. A group of Jews, hardcore nationalists, so to say, they decide to regain control of the land. They prepare an uprising. They select a leader who is this young rabbi, descendant of David, the ancient king of Jews. They go around Judea preaching Judaism to Jews and recruiting more fighters to their future rebellion. That is all the Bible is about. That's all. This is what the New Testament tells us. Jesus explicitly states, Morning Sun, that he works for Jews. What he does is he does for Jews only, the chosen tribe of God. So they prepare an uprising, they carry arms, they are sponsored by certain actors there. They are all grown-up men. They invest their time. They have families, kids, wives. Otherwise, nobody would listen to them, because Jews had a habit of respecting family people. If you had no family, you would not be an authority in any way. So they go around preaching their stuff, preaching Judaism. Basically the hardcore version of Judaism, that God wants them to regain control of their country. That's it. Then they fail. For the time being, Jesus gets executed. There's still nothing about Christianity as you know it. It's just Jews fighting for their stuff. He gets executed. And they continue preparing the rebellion. And they continue their work. And 30 years later, war erupts, finally. The war that they've been preparing, the Roman-Judean war in 60-something Anno Domini. They start the war, finally. And they get defeated in that war. And their temple gets ruined and they get scattered along the Mediterranean and the world. The rest you know. So, the Bible, the New Testament, is about the preparation of that rebellion of Jews, for Jews in Jewish lands. That's it. No Christianity here. Where does Christianity come in? It comes in with Paul. Paul, Shaul, his real name, was just a failed rabbi, wannabe. He dreamt of a rabbi career all the time. I'm getting all this from the Bible, from the deeds of Paul, from the New Testament. So he could not get with a woman for some reason. He had no wife, he had no kids. Whether he was homosexual, he was just erectile dysfunction sufferer, but he had no woman. His sexuality was dead. That's why he could not become a rabbi. He could not become an authoritative figure in Jerusalem. He was never with Christians, so-called Christians. He was never with Jesus and his sect. He was even persecuting them. He once participated in stoning of one of the early followers of Jesus. And Romans saved him from Jews. Romans saved him from death penalty. Man, the sun feels good. Romans saved him, and they made him his spy. He was basically a Roman spy trying to infiltrate the preparing rebellion. They just wanted to control it or corrupt it from inside. So what happens is they sent Paul to infiltrate the rebellion, and Jesus and his disciples don't really like him. Peter hated him. Peter hated Paul. But they cannot kill him because they're afraid of the Roman repercussions, you know. And what happens is he just hangs around them sometime, and he goes to preach Judaism to Jews that live across the Mediterranean already, to different cities. He goes to the enclaves, Jewish enclaves, to work with them. And he supposedly preaches what Jesus preaches, but he does not have much idea of that because he never hangs around them, you know. He never really participates in the life of that sect. So he goes around preaching, and Jews beat him up. Nobody really listens to him. At some point he comes to Greece, and that's where he finally finds audience, you know, because Greeks love new ideas. Greeks love to talk. Greeks love to philosophize. And he gains some followers among the lovers of exotic cults among Greeks. What happens later is he works on creating this new doctrine based on Judaism and some fragments of Jesus' teaching of Judaism, the hardcore version of it. And he ends up living in Rome, in the city of enemies of Jesus, of those who Jesus wanted to overthrow. And he sort of lives on a pension there, like a retirement fund. And he works. Paul works on something that gets shelved later on after his death for several centuries. What he works on is the Christianity as you know it now, the sexually repressive, weird, Judaism-based death cult. And several centuries later, Constantine, the emperor of the Roman Empire, which is falling apart, by the way. The Roman Empire was falling apart, like 3rd century, starting to completely rot. 3rd century, and Constantine is desperately looking for a new unifying ideology. He's looking for a religion for slaves, you know, for slaves of all ethnic backgrounds, all origins, from all corners of the empire. He needs a religion that will work for them and will keep them on the leash. He finds, obviously, Paul's work and turns it into what Christianity is today. He takes the cross, symbol of torture of Jesus, and he makes it the symbol of the church, and he shapes it so that the religion praises suffering, weakness, praises everything that Jesus would laugh at if he was told about that, because he wanted Jews to uprise, to violently uprise against Romans and their rule and become their own rulers as they used to be in their lands. So Christianity is basically a religion of slaves. It will conform any dominating doctrine that's in society. There will be communist Christianity, there will be Nazi Christianity, there will be feminist Christianity, if you're a Christian, you're already following a secondary, artificial, made-up religion, you know? Unlike paganism, for instance, which is a root religion of Europeans, which is where some of Christianity is based on, obviously. The sun cult got mixed up with Jesus, and the Dionysiac cults got mixed up with Jesus because Dionysus, the god of wine and ecstasy, was born immaculately, so to say, from the thigh of God, Zeus. So that's all different stories, a long story, and I noticed how Rollo Tomasi was wearing Mjolnir Thor's hammer during the conversation. I don't know if he was sending a signal or making a statement or he just likes it, but the thing is, you cannot be unplugged from the matrix and go to Christian church and try to live your life in accordance with Christian principles, because there are no Christian principles that exist outside of society and state and outside of the whole repressive apparatus, you know. Christianity is just a software product for the society of slaves, you know. So, can you be red-pilled about women and still a Christian? No, you cannot.